Have you ever noticed that sometimes your precious doggy reacts weirdly to some people? From the stranger whom your well-behaved puppy barks at in the street to the friend that your four-legged companion refuses to go near, sometimes it just seems that dogs know whether someone is good or mean. And now, it appears that our suspicions were right all along. Without further ado, let's see how dogs can recognize bad people. Hey, guys! Welcome to the Keeping Pet channel. Here we provide useful information about all pets, teach you the required skills to properly keep them, and tell you the fun facts about them. If you happen to be new here, don't forget to subscribe to this furry and feathered channel and hit the bell button, so you don't miss out on a single video here. Now, let's get right into it. How dogs can recognize a bad person. Signs that your doggy knows someone is bad. Since we can't understand dog language, they have to use body language to communicate with humans properly. They can find a way to tell us how they're feeling simply by their movements. For example, everyone is aware that a happy dog wags its tail and bounces around playfully. But doggies aren't always that happy, and there are some clear signs to tell if your doggy knows something is just wrong. You may notice your doggy behaves a little strange if they are uncomfortable around someone. For instance, it's likely that their tail will be lowered or even tucked between their legs. Besides, when being around a mean person, they might attempt to run or hide, or they might respond aggressively to defend you. Testing the theory through 2 studies. A study looked at how dogs would respond to certain human behaviors. In 3 different situations, a person was trying to open a tightly sealed jar with a volunteer standing near them. In the test, the first volunteer helped them in opening the jar, the second was totally passive, and the third just refused to help. The dogs watched each of these interactions carefully. After each situation, the volunteer guy would offer a treat to the doggy. While you may expect a doggy to cheerfully accept a treat at any time, that actually wasn't the case for this study. In fact, they found that the dogs were more inclined to accept a treat from the guy who helped out. Most of these dogs also accepted a treat from the passive guy, but they were unwilling to trust the guy who wouldn't help someone else. So, once the mean person offered a treat to these precious doggies, they just ignored them. They could tell right away that the person wasn't someone they liked to interact with. Another research followed a similar experiment to discover if dogs can tell whether someone is untrustworthy. In this furry experiment, there were 2 containers close to the dogs. One was filled with food, while the other was empty. In the first round, a person would point to the container with the pet food in it, but the second time, they would point to the empty container. The dogs were delighted to find the food the first time but were totally disappointed when they realized they were fooled in the second round. Then, the third time, the guy pointed to the container with the food again. But, as you may guess, at that time, the doggies didn't respond to their actions. In fact, that person had been totally untrustworthy in the second round, and the precious 4-legged animal remembered that. How can dogs recognize bad people? These 2 studies show how good dogs are at watching human behavior. They knew the difference between a trustworthy and an unreliable person. This is due to how much a dog's social intelligence has evolved through history. Dogs have a long history of interaction with humans, so they have developed the ability to pick up on some of the social characteristics of people. They've actually learned some of the main differences between a good and a mean person. Overall, dogs prefer predictable situations. Most dog owners have a certain routine for their doggies, which is actually good because these furry companions like to know what's going on. So, when a person acts in an unusual way or negatively, dogs sense that the person is probably bad. This leads them to protect their humans at all costs. So, that's basically it. If you loved today's video and found it really helpful, just make sure to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons for more videos and updates on this channel. And now, do you think cats can also recognize bad people? Let us all know what you think at the moment in the comments section below. Take care.